Hi guys, welcome to Get a Life. I am Craig Harper and with me is the lovely...
Ty. Don't tell me you don't know my name by now, Craig.
No, I knew it. I was just throwing to you. It's a TV thing. We're here in PAD in Church Street, Richmond, home of, as voted by me, the world's greatest furniture.
This furniture is absolutely beautiful. And
super furniture.
Super furniture, I love it. And part of having a good life is being around beautiful things. And...
Thank you, thank you. Stop it, stop it. Oh, you meant the furniture.
I did mean the furniture, but you are very beautiful, Craig, in your own special way.
Have you ever seen two more comfy hosts? Have you ever seen two more people on telly just not really looking like they're working? Well, that is us. But enough about us. Tell us about the show.
We've got a great show coming up for you. From your brain to your body, from feeding your tummy to feeding your soul. It's all happening on Get a Life. In today's show, learn the secrets of green calcium straight from the plant world. How to help your school-aged children get their heads and minds around the best place to focus.
Erica's back to keep us healthy and fit.
You won't want to miss a single moment of the spine-tingling resident psychic.
And Con's back with some more tips for your skin.
But first up this week, the amazing Kathy McKenzie is back, and this week you were lucky enough, Ty, to catch up with her.
I was. Kathy's an amazing life coach, and you do a bit of coaching yourself.
A little bit.
Well, I caught up with Kathy, and we spoke about relationships.
If anyone needs to pay attention, it is me.
We'll have a look.
What is love and what to do when the rainbows and butterflies of romance fade away? I'm back with Kathy McKenzie from Fire Up Coaching, and Kathy, you're a newlywed. I'm a newlywed. I'm hoping you've got a little bit more life experience than me when it comes to relationships. How do we keep them strong?
Well, it's one thing I'm actually grateful that I have learnt over many years of working with people on how to develop and keep their relationships strong. And I am at a bit of an advantage, and I probably have no excuses in my own relationship for not knowing this. And look, one of the important things is that when we first meet someone and we're drawn to them, we actually don't often notice that we fall in love because we kind of see a reflection of ourselves. So it's things that we, I like you because you like me and we like the same sort of things, but we're all very different. And the important part of keeping a relationship strong is to know how to focus on the strengths that you both bring to the relationship over time rather than the differences, those little differences that you don't notice when you first meet someone start to play out more as you go through a relationship.
That's so true, and we're all so different. I'm so different from my husband. I'm sure you're so different from yours. How do we focus on those strengths?
Look, it's a funny thing, and John knows that I use our profiles. We actually have done our brain profiles, believe it or not. And what all that is a profile that looks at whether you're more left or right brain. Obviously, we've both got our whole brains, and we bring our whole brain into a relationship. But we have a tendency to develop strengths in particular ways of thinking. And so they're our preferences. Now, just because they're a preference though, doesn't mean that they're set in concrete. So for instance, I'm pretty free thinking, I'm an entrepreneur, I love freedom, and I'm very intuitive and sensitive to feelings.
So what side of the brain does that come from?
That's much more right brain,
I
yes.
think that's where I'm sitting, and I'm pretty sure my husband is...
Well, let me tell you about my husband. My husband brings that wonderful side of structure and organisation, and he's really neat and plans well and is on time. So we balance each other out. The important thing that helps to keep a relationship strong is not to expect the person to become you and do like you want them to do or do like you would do. What you need to recognise is how you can adapt your own behaviour and accept what's important to them. Appreciate that for me, being on time's not, I don't really have such a high value around that, but I know that that shows respect in my relationship. So I make sure that I get my act together and I get home on time.
Yeah,
so,
really valuing what the other person values.
Absolutely. And to recognise that sometimes we concentrate on the little things and to really have the self-awareness not to sweat the small stuff, not to pick on those things that at the end of the day, do they really matter? And it's very interesting when I'm coaching people hearing the kinds of issues that escalate. So good communication, letting the small things go through to the keeper, that's what keeps a relationship strong.
Some great advice there, Kathy. I'm definitely taking a bunch of that on board, making my relationship nice and strong from newlywed stage all the way to death do us part. So you'll be back again with us next week. What are we going to talk about then?
Next week, Ty, we're changing focus and we're looking at health and fitness.
Right. Thanks, Kathy. Always great to catch up. Have you ever wanted cake for breakfast or eggs for dinner? Well, there is a difference between breakfast, lunch, and dinner foods, and Erica's going to tell us more.
Hello. Well, I don't know whether many of you would know, but my nickname is Miss Piggy. I love to eat. So one of the things that really helps me in knowing how to control my weight and keep my energy really constant throughout the day is to think about the choices that I make. I've put together some options here. This is a breakfast option. You can have 50 grams of porridge, 50 grams of yogurt, half a cup of berries, slice of toast with some almond butter, a cup of tea or coffee, and some milk. All of that is 440 calories. Now I'm going to tell you, that's really going to fill you up and make you feel really good and sustain your energy well into the day. Or you can have a muffin and a large latte, 520 calories. Oh, think about that option. For lunch, you can have a yummy, yummy salad, 2 cups of salad. This is 150 grams of chicken. You can have fish, meat, beans, anything you like. I've got half a cup of cooked quinoa there, but you could have rice, anything that you prefer. With a whole cut up orange, all of that, which is really going to be tasty and lovely, 350 calories. Or a ham and cheese sandwich and a cup of fruit salad, 460 calories. Yikes. And for dinner, ooh, delicious, you can have a beautiful plate of 2 cups of veg, baked potato and some steak, chicken, fish, about 100 grams, and a little sweet treat, some dark chocolate for 330 calories. Or you can choose any kind of frozen meal. They average about 350 calories. What I want you to think about is the choices that you make, how many calories they have, and how they're going to make you feel. It really does add up very, very quickly. See you next week.
So as adults, it's really important that we have a positive mindset, that we're solution focused, that we're all about creating and doing better, that we put our head in the right space to produce the maximum results. Now, imagine if as a school child, you could optimize your mind. That would be awesome. Here's Bridie.
Well, welcome back to part 2 of Mind Talk on Get a Life. I'm here with Bridie, and Bridie, I believe today we're going to be talking about Mind Talk for schools.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you tell me a bit about it?
So we've designed a program for schools that allows children to sit in the driver's seat of their own minds, to help them to understand their emotions and also to understand how their mind works so that they can have an outcome of being a successful young person.
So how does the program actually work?
We have a series of components to the program. The first part is an iPhone app that allows the children to take part in a relaxation activity. So at the start of the year, we're addressing those settling in issues to school, and it allows them to just focus, let go of any issues that they're holding on to during their morning, and just allow them to focus more on their learning.
That's great, because mornings can be slightly crazy for children, so coming in and starting the day with a relaxation is quite incredible.
Absolutely, Maritza, and we don't take into account that, you know, some people have had people pass away in their family, you know, the children have been rushed off to school, mum and dad could be running late. We don't take into account a lot of those things when the school bell goes at 9 o'clock. So this is like a new school bell to allow them to relax into their learning.
Okay.
And then we have a series of lesson plans that are designed to be implemented in the first 6 weeks of the school term, and they teach children the strategies of how to sit into the driver's seat of their own minds, let go of any of the problems that they're carrying, which will then allow them to be an emotionally healthy young person.
So what age group are you specifically working with?
Okay, so it's the P to 6, so prep to grade 6, and we implement it at, you know, every strategy that we teach on how the mind works is implemented at an age appropriate stage.
Have you got certain examples of how this program has actually worked on children.
Okay, so I'll give an example of one of the students that I've worked with. He had an issue because he got yelled at in the first week of prep by a school teacher, and whether it was a big yell or a small yell, we don't know, but in his perception it was, you know, quite fearful. And so he went from being quite happy to go to school to really scared to go to school. So what we did is we went in and we taught him how his mind worked, and how he was playing that memory over and over in his mind, and he was actually scaring himself now.
Wow.
So the memory, it stays in their subconscious, and then he has this fear that it's going to happen every day. So with the strategies that Mind Talk teaches, we actually allow the child to let go of that memory, even change the memory and make it a funny memory, so that they're happy enough to go to school. So that little boy's now bouncing off to school happy again every day.
And you've converted a negative memory into a positive memory.
Absolutely. So when he thinks of that teacher now, he actually laughs.
Oh, that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Everything in the subconscious is all the things that have happened. And remember, we don't get a choice of what actually goes in there. So it records the happy, the sad, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that's happened to us.
With Mind Talk for Schools, can you see the program being used in older children and adults as well?
Absolutely. My aim is to actually combat depression and anxiety in older teens. So 1 in 15 children will suffer from some kind of mental illness before they turn 15. So these strategies that we're teaching at a young age can be taken right through our life. I mean, I even use them myself.
Amazing. The mind can play an integral part of how we behave, can't it?
Absolutely. And, you know, our subconscious mind is why we are like we are. It's our personality. It's everything that's ever happened to us in our life. And if we understand that, and we understand that we can actually change those problems as they're being created, we can make huge change in children's lives.
Now, next week you've got more information for us on Mind Talk. What have we got up next week?
Look, I'm really looking forward to next week. We'll have James coming in. James has grown up in special education. He's 19 years old and he was diagnosed with autism. So what we've helped James with is to actually overcome some of his obsessions and his compulsive behaviours.
Okay. If you'd like more information on Mind Talk, you can go to our website at getalife.tv. Thank you so much, Brady.
Thanks, Maritza.
Well, we've been at PAD all day long, and I think I have found my favorite piece of furniture in the whole shop. And that's what I'm calling the hover chair. Because it's made out of this really cool Perspex glass material, which gives you the effect of floating, because it's invisible. Now, someone else who sees the invisible and believes the incredible is our resident psychic, Pam, who we're going to catch up with now.
Hi, I'm Pam Bradbury, a psychic and medium who's been connecting with people for over 25 years. Each week, I get at least 100 messages from people all around Australia, asking me questions and for help. This season on Get Alive, I'm going to get out there and meet some of these people, and together we'll share some of their stories. Thank you for being such good sports. So the first thing I'm going to tune into is your personalities and the sort of people that you are. So Miriam, you're a lady that likes to get things right. So you don't like it when things go wrong, and you really like to know what you're doing for the day and where you're going and even where you're going to park the car before you go shopping. So you think the day before you do it, and you're very much in touch with how things should actually unfold around you. So, and that makes you feel comfortable. If there's a day, things happen in the day where it gets chaotic, you're very good at going, laissez-faire, never mind, I'll get through it. But internally you're going, oh. Now you've got children, obviously, a boy here that I can see is very, very close to you, and you spend a lot of time with an older child, and then it looks like you've got a younger baby or a young child too here. Is that correct?
I do.
So, and the little one, okay, of course, is, motorbike mad. He's going to be everything to do with motors. Every single thing to do with motors, fast, speed, everything. So he's a child you're going to have to hold back. He's a child you're going to have to hold back a bit, because he will want to go forward at 100 miles an hour. And that's because he's got an older brother. But he's naturally got a lot of energy and vitality, and so he's quite different, very different to the other child. However, you're a thinker. You actually think quite a lot, and you will often find sometimes a little bit tricky to manage both of them because they're very different personalities, very different natures. But I can tell you right now, that little one, he's out that door, he's going. He won't be home. He'll be a child that has got an activity going, he's got something he wants to do, and the connection to you is very different, which means you can relax a lot more and don't have to be watching him constantly.
Yeah, no, I think she, you know, sort of got my personality, and that the baby's going to be a real kid on the move. I better watch out, be at the gym more.
You love to make sure everyone's well fed. It's all about the house, the domestic scene, everything in your family, the box, even the lunch boxes, everything's got to be organised in the morning before they get up. It's all done. You're incredibly organised. You love to keep pace with them all. You've got 3 children. You love to keep pace with them. The elder one is very close to you, so may also travel together, the 2 of you by yourself without the younger ones. But for me, this is a fabulous mother-daughter relationship where you're leading her rather than managing her. This particular dog of yours has got long claws, so did you not go to the vet very often? Was he a Metzer dog?
He just had, these nails just grew so quickly all the time.
Right.
And
he didn't like it.
And he hated it. He hated it.
Yeah.
And
you had to take him to the vet.
we also bought nail clippers to do it, but we were too frightened to hurt him, so we would go, but every now and then the nail would get stuck in carpet or somewhere, and you'd hear him squealing at the other side of the house. So I'd have to run down to him and unhook his...
Well, he's telling me that.
Yeah.
I can't actually see him, but I can hear him. He's talking about his claws.
Yeah, that was always very sensitive for him. She was very spot on about quite a few things, and the lunch boxes and my dog's nails, which was always really like a thing. So it was very spot on. So yeah, no, she's very good.
So, calcium. It comes from milk. Milk comes from cows. But did you know that there is a pure plant source of calcium called green calcium? Check this out.
Hello, we're back with Sarah from Green Nutritionals, who's going to show us how to make a delicious smoothie that is packed full of calcium. Hello, Sarah. What are you making for us today?
I'm going to make a cacao coconut calcium smoothie. So I'm going to use this green calcium. It's from marine plant. It's really suitable for vegans and vegetarian. Fantastic way to get your daily dose of calcium.
That's great to know, because when I think of calcium, I think of cows and dairy products,
Exactly.
but this is a great thing for vegans and vegetarians
Definitely.
to use as well.
Dairy products don't suit me, so I like to add this into my smoothies. Just 1 level teaspoon will deliver 950 milligrams of elemental calcium. So let's start making our smoothie. I'm going to add 1.5 cups of almond milk. I will use 1 tablespoon of raw cacao, 1 level teaspoon of green calcium, a tablespoon of chia seeds.
Would this smoothie give you lots of energy as well? Because I think of all of these ingredients being full of energy.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm going to use around about 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, 1 cup of strawberries.
Oh, they look so fresh.
Oh, I love strawberries.
So good. So everything in the blender together, and then just puree it, blend it.
That's right. All right, let's taste this. Such a fantastic way to get your calcium for the day.
Oh wow, that looks so rich and so creamy. All right, I'll wait for you.
Cheers.
Oh wow, that tastes delicious. You can really taste all those different ingredients, the cacao, the coconut, and the strawberries. Just gives a nice fruity sort of acidity to it.
Yeah, it is delicious, and it's packed full of nutrients, and you've got such a wonderful dose of calcium in there.
For the full recipe, head to getalife.tv and follow the NutriSynergy links. Cheers.
Cheers.
Now don't forget guys, if there's anything you see on the show that you want to find out more about, just go to the website, follow the links, click on all the bits to find out about the services and programs and ideas and information that we share with you each week, and then you can unpack it a little bit more. Now, speaking of skin, I know, worst segue ever, there wasn't really one, but I'm covered in it, I enjoy it, and it kind of holds me together, which is important, apart from a few other things. Now, Con is going to share with us today how we might manage our skin optimally for optimal skin care and health. And apparently, Talia tells me quite unfairly that I should really pay attention.
I'm here with Con Mitsos from Plunkett's, the Good Skin and Good Health people. Today we're going to be talking about problem skin and in particular eczema and dermatitis, which unfortunately so many of us have to deal with. Con, can you tell me the difference between the two?
Well, Maritza, dermatitis is an umbrella term which really relates to just irritation and inflammation of the skin, whereas eczema is a specific skin condition and that can be extremely severe. The skin becomes red, it becomes flaky, it can blister and weep, and it can be very unsightly and very painful. It's
a really uncomfortable condition, and I've seen so many people experience it, even infants and children. It's horrible.
And look, one of the challenges we face is we need to recognise what we can do to reduce the triggers that can exacerbate the condition and cause it to flare up. Okay. And they can be things like diet, so we need to watch our diet, and a doctor can prescribe what sort of things we can maybe try to eliminate, which could help us there. Obviously UV, which is well known, and stress. And they cause the immune system to become suppressed. And that means that the condition can flare out of control.
What are the tips that you've got in your experience with this that you can recommend to people with eczema?
Well, if we do our best in those areas, we can also then look at the skin and use products on the skin that can really greatly assist us in controlling the condition. So a product like NS Sensitive Skin Cleanser, which I know we've talked about before, is the perfect product to cleanse the skin because it doesn't contain soaps and detergents. Eczema is also a soap and detergent intolerant condition. So using NS Sensitive Skin Cleanser means we can cleanse the skin without inflaming it further or making it worse in the cleansing stage.
I know a lot of dermatologists recommend a cortisone cream that we can use to get the inflammation down. Is there anything you can use after that to sort of maintain the health of the skin? Because I know there's a lot of negativity with cortisone creams as well. It can do a lot of harm.
Well, the reason for that, Maritza, is because cortisone, which works effectively and quickly to reduce the inflammation, it works by reducing blood flow to the area. And if we understand that, that's why people commonly say, oh, I know that it will thin my skin and it will leave it fragile at the end of the course, which is what happens. So it's important, what do we do after we've finished the course of cortisone? And the good news is we can do two things. We have a product which is designed to replace the lost lipids in the skin. It's called NS Extra Dry Skin Moisturiser, and the natural emollients replace those lost lipids in the skin, which means we can have that protective barrier function restored. And that's important to prevent those external triggers. But we can do more. We can use a product called NS21 Skin Repair Treatment, and that actually works to rebuild the skin, to increase cellular metabolism and to improve the immune response so our skin can bounce back after its cortisone course and come back to good health. And that means that our period of time between the episodes of flare-ups can be extended, and even the flare-ups themselves can be reduced in their intensity.
And it's good to know that there's natural products on the market that you can use in replacement of chemicals which are so readily available.
And so they would be chemicals in general, which the NS range is free from, but also petrochemicals, which are commonly used in products. So it's good to know that we have got a natural range without either of those two concerns.
Absolutely. Now I know there's another issue, which is diabetes.
Well, sadly, it is a growing concern in Australia, and one of the challenges we face is diabetes sufferers, because of poor circulation, will have poor skin condition. And that means that little scratches and tears in the skin or bruises can take much longer to heal than normal. And so it's important for us to see what we can do to improve that, and we certainly can with our NS21 Skin Repair Treatment. That can significantly improve the healing time. And obviously with diabetes sufferers, there's also loss of sensitivity. And that means that if they're wanting to remove thick and callous skin, which is common in hands and feet, they cannot and must not use physical or mechanical abrasion, because they can't feel pain as much as they ought, and so therefore they can rub too far, and infection, which is a high risk for diabetes sufferers, can be a real concern.
Thanks, Con. So what are we going to be talking about next week?
Next week, Maritza, we're going to be looking at how to look after and care for the skin on your feet.
Oh, awesome, because summer's coming up, so the feet are going to be out and ready on show. Thanks so much.
So there we have it, another great episode. I'm excited, you're excited, we're ready to change our life, but the question is, are you ready to change yours? Because that's what it's all about.
That's right. Head to getalife.tv for more information.
Now, in the beautiful store that we are in, anything that floats your boat, anything that you might...
Look, I've seen a few things, and if you could be so kind as to let me borrow your credit card.
Oh, I haven't got it with me. Oh, darn.
Because there's definitely a few things here I wouldn't mind taking home with me.
While she's trying to find some money or a credit card, we will say goodbye and see you next time.
I feel like you're lying to me.
What is going on?
I feel like you're lying to me. Where's your credit card? Why do you even have a pocket?
What is that about?
Why do you even have a pocket on your sleeve?